Hi, welcome to Integrative Wisdom. Verna Fisher here. We are continuing our exploration of the chakra system here at Integrative Wisdom. And today we are covering, it's part 5, but it's the 4th chakra, and it is the heart chakra. And it's seen as the midway point between the physical. So you had the root chakra or base, you had the sacral chakra, and then you had the solar plexus. Well, those are all about the physical aspects of energy. We're moving into the heart chakra, which is going to mediate between the spiritual components of our being and the physical. The heart chakra is about emotional power, and it's about emotional development. So it's about me growing into an emotional intelligence of who I am, and may require some work from me as I go about my growing up and my life's journey. So, related to this, from the way that the body is connected to this particular energy center, is the idea of heart and heart issues, cancer, breast cancer, things of that nature, the lungs, and the breathing capacity that we bring with us. So, other things as well, but I bring those up briefly because I want us to understand that when you're looking at an integrative system, you are talking about the body, the mind, the spirit, and the soul working together. And the chakra system, from that energetic perspective, says that from this place of both spiritual and emotional and just the day-to-day where we find ourselves in our lives, will affect us, and it can find its way out in physical ailments. Can, not will, but may. And so we want to understand, it's like the immune system and stress. We're very well aware that stress affects our immune system. So it's the same idea when we're talking about the chakra system and how we want to grow and learn. So the again, with this heart chakra, it's going to be interesting to separate out the idea of our mental and our thought process versus our emotional process, and how we're feeling on an emotional basis, and how we need to be present to the emotions and not just the thoughts. The work here is also about releasing and letting go, and also about letting go of the need to know why. And so sometimes with things that happen to us on an emotional basis, we're looking for a why. Why did this happen? And from a heart perspective, it's not about the why. It's about let go and let God. So remember, it's connecting us from the physical world to the spiritual world. And so the work is let go and let God. The challenge is to care for our own personal needs, for our own personal emotional needs. So if we've been really good caregivers of other people, and we've made decisions, and we have maybe not made decisions because we were worried about everybody out here, when this energy system starts developing, it's going to be asking us to listen deeply and see what it is that we're being called to do and to take care of. Our fears here can be loneliness, the fear of commitment, the fear of being emotionally weak, the fear of following our heart. So you can imagine how our heart might take a hit if we're not listening, right? So some of the outcomes of this, with this, the limitations in this energy, is to be jealous, to be angry, to be bitter, and to find it impossible to forgive people if we have a sense that they have hurt us. The goal here is to be in a place of unconditional love. And I see a lot printed out there about how love will heal, but But unfortunately, I think most of us have no clue of how to love unconditionally, and especially love ourselves unconditionally. And a moment of silence for that one, right? Okay. So here, having the courage to listen to your heart's message and possible directives. Okay. This is a growing into your own consciousness, a growing into your own sense of me, and not in a narcissistic way. But remember, we talked about there may come a time when it looks like we're, especially to everybody else who's used to us doing everything that they want, and suddenly we're there telling them, I'm going to pursue this. I'm going to stop this. I'm going to work on this. I'm getting the message that it's time. And hopefully you're going to have people in your life who will love you unconditionally and will say, I will back you and support you in that. So part of this coming to an understanding of my heart speaking to me, or the heart's directives, I have to know who this me is. I have to be able to understand me in relationship to me, not me in relationship to my family of origin, to my spouse, to my children, to my tribe, to my work. This. And that's why a part of integrative wisdom in the soul catalyst system says, know what I believe, know what's challenging me, know how I see the world, and not from anybody else's lens, but what has worked for me and what will continue to be that spark of life for me. So there may be many questions that arise during this time when you're working with the heart chakra, okay? Am I being called to make decisions? Am I being called to listen more fully and completely? And so it's going to require sometimes bravery and what feels like stepping out on a limb, and what feels like risking everything, right? To get to know me more and to listen more deeply, all right? And what's at stake? Well, is your relationship to you, and also a physical hit if you're not paying attention and you're not doing the work. So you do not want to get to a place, and I love this line in Carolyn Mays, toxic emotional stress levels. Now we know we have toxic stress levels, especially right now with everybody suffering and so many challenges and things that are happening to people. I'm sure energetically we're all messed up in so many ways as we're carrying burdens just by hearing someone else's story, right? So we need to be tenderly caring for this energy here before we take on everybody else's. Then we'll have enough to be able to give back. That's just a little side tip, by the way. So this toxic emotional stress level, it will wreak havoc with your physical body. And so you want to keep your immune system up high. You want to be able to protect yourself against things that are coming in, right? So protect yourself that that reassurance that you're listening in. That's a good way to put it, right? I'm listening. I got a message today. I woke up, I had this dream. I need to write it down. Oh, wait, what was that going on? Why did I notice those 3 things in a row? There's an intuitive process that's going on as well, okay? There's a little bit of information that you also want to be aware of. If indeed you're doing this self-examination and you're realizing that in your life there were many places where people took advantage of you, or they hurt you, or some way of wounding, you want to watch out for how you present that out in the world. You don't want to carry your wounds like a badge of honor. You want to acknowledge that to yourself in that sense of, yes, there are things and things that have happened to me and people that have been toxic to me, but I'm not going to keep using the bullhorn and throwing it out there to the world to say, I had this and I had that, you may want to look at those places of wounding, recognize yet you've put the steps in place to heal them, and then to set them down, and to allow your heart to be in that greater connectedness and not just connected to the wounds. Okay, that's one of the challenges. Lastly, I wanted to bring in Angeles Arian. I love Angeles Arian's work, and she talked about the four stages of the heart. We know about the four chambers. She talked about the four stages of how the heart can be. You can have a full heart. You can have a strong heart. You can have an open heart, and you can have a clear heart. But what are the opposites of those, right? So a full heart, when you make a decision, if you don't have that full heart ready to make the decision, it's half-hearted. That may not be the time to make the decision. A strong heart, to stand up and say, yeah, that's what my heart is telling me, versus a weak heart and letting others rule the day, right? An open heart. Now, the thing about an open heart is if you have been wounded, you could be finding that you've closed the door on that energy because you don't want to be hurt again, right? You don't want to take risks again. You definitely don't want to forgive. Well, if that's the case, you have some work so that you can bring that energy into a greater purpose and a greater balance so that it helps heal the whole body, the whole package. And lastly, the clear heart. So if you're not clear when you're ready to make a decision, it may mean that you need a little bit more work because you're a little confused. Is this exactly what I want? Or is this something that I'm thinking that I should because somebody else is telling me that, or because I'm hearing it, in a podcast or a video, or, it came on the latest movie, whatever it is. So work from a place of full heart, clear heart, open heart, and strong heart. Okay. And this is a long video. It's almost going to be 13 minutes long. So there we go. It is needing this time because the heart is so important. So if you have any questions, as always, let me know. And my heart is tenderly open to you as well as we're going through these amazing challenges right now. Let me know. Again, hugs and love. Bye.